I'm actually leaving my little mushroom stoop in the woods and I'm heading into downtown Phoenix to see Jason Nash, who is a comedian and YouTuber. He's doing a stand-up show and I bought tickets to see him this afternoon, and I might actually meet him later. But right now I'm gonna do a chit-chat get ready with me style of makeup tutorial, and it's just gonna be an everyday look for 40 plus skin. And as always, I'm using 100% cruelty-free and vegan cosmetics. I don't have time to actually explain what everything is that I'm using, but I will link it down below, as I will link Jason Nash's YouTube channel and Trisha Paytas' YouTube channel as well. I'm super excited about this show today because I am a really big fan of Jason Nash, and I recently discovered him this year, and the story is, well, I don't know, it's kind of sad, but it's real talk. I recently moved to Arizona from Southwest Florida. I lived in Cape Coral, Florida. I owned a home there, and I lived by myself with my 2 dogs. And after 2017, Hurricane Irma hit very close to my home and caused quite a bit of damage around my house and put a hole in my roof, and just was very expensive tree removal, and it was an extremely stressful situation. I knew living in Florida that hurricanes were a reality, so it wasn't like I was surprised that it was happening, but it just seems as though the storms are getting more intense and more destructive because of climate change. And I just decided I don't want to risk my investment, and I thought it was a good time to sell. I've always wanted to move out west, and so that hurricane sort of made my mind up for me. I put my house on the market. I quickly got an offer from an investor. It was a cash offer. He put a lot of money down, and I thought it was a sure thing. So I put my notice in at work. I had a very good bartending job, high-paying bartending position, which I had for years, and it was, you know, kind of sad to put in my notice because they were all friends of mine, and like I said, it was a good job. And leaving Florida, I had to say goodbye to a lot of wonderful people, and this was a huge decision in my life. And as much as I loved that house, it was becoming more and more of stress for me. I packed up everything in my house. Had my belongings in suitcases. I signed a lease in Arizona. I booked the moving truck. I was ready to go, and 24 hours before the signing, the investor terminated the deal. And what that means is I was no longer selling my house to him, and I had already invested in the mover. I had quit my job. I was ready to go. I was ready to leave and go to Arizona. Car was packed. I was devastated. I cried the entire night. I tried to get my job back, but you know, I was training a girl to fill my position. I had given notice, and she was going to be great. And with like a top tier bartending job, those positions get filled pretty quickly. So I couldn't get my job back. It was off season. The next morning, the investor called back and offered $20,000 less for my home. Sorry, I need some coffee to get ready. And offered me $20,000 less for my home. And I basically told him to get lost. Now, the saddest part about that is that I think this guy, and I think people like him, do these kind of things all around the country, all around the world. I think people do business this way. Right at the last minute, you're forced to take an offer that's considerably less than where you started out, and people accept these offers because they have to. They're kind of, you know, desperate at that point. They have the movers coming, you know, they're in between jobs, and it's so sad that that happens and that people conduct business that way, but that's life. I basically lived out of my suitcases until I was able to sell my house. I had a mattress on the floor in my living room, and myself and my dogs, we just tried to survive for months. And I found a couple of jobs, but nothing that matched the job that I had. and I found myself falling behind in the mortgage, and the credit that I pride myself on building, I saw it plummet, and it was crushing. And I had to reach out to my family for help, and my sister, bless her heart, is an angel, helped me without question and judgment. And I have a friend in California that was very helpful to me, that talked to me all the way through, and it was a crushing, devastating experience. And hurricane season was approaching again, and here I'm sitting in this house by myself. Like, the house is beautiful, and you know, maybe a couple or maybe someone younger could maintain. It was a pool and the yard and everything, but you know, me being a single woman, it was a little too much for me. A couple more buyers tried and failed to buy my house. Now we're going months trying to survive in Florida off season. It was one of the most difficult situations I've ever been in, and at one point I thought I was going to lose my house, and I was in a deep depression, and it was one of the darkest moments of my life. And my friends and my family were very helpful to me. I thank them. I'm eternally grateful to them, but they couldn't be with me 24/7. So I turned to YouTube at night to try to calm me down, because I wasn't able to sleep and I was suffering with tremendous anxiety and stress. I had dabbled on YouTube before, and in my About section on this channel, I talk about that and my collaboration with The Onion Knight, and I thoroughly enjoyed that experience, and we had a couple of very exciting moments during that show. One of my pieces on the Yulin Dog Meat Festival hit almost 2 million views so far, which is crazy to me. It's tough to watch. It has a lot of graphic content, but it touched a lot of hearts around the world, and I'm very proud of that piece and proud of the work that I did with that channel. But my friend moved out of the state with his wife, and then I stopped filming for that show, and I just went back to working full-time. I'm going to see Jason Nash today because I found him somehow, and from his channel I found Trisha Paytas as well. I was finally able to sell my house, thank goodness, in September, after months of living out of my suitcase and sleeping on a mattress on my floor and stressing out and losing my mind. I was finally able to sell, and boy, did I get the heck out of Dodge. I got out of Florida as fast as I could. I was already packed, so you know, didn't take much effort. But once I signed those papers, I went to the bank and just deposited my check. It wasn't as much as I wanted. I didn't make as much of a profit, but it's okay. But I packed my car. I have my 2 doggies with me, and I drove 2,000 miles to Arizona by myself. But I continued to watch Jason Nash and Trisha's vlogs throughout my trip to Arizona because they calmed me. I didn't watch Jason Nash because I wanted to see him get shot by paintball guns. I watched him because he's such a brilliant comedian, and his delivery, his timing, he is so thoroughly entertaining to watch. He also created a movie called FML, and it is so hysterically funny. It's about, he's basically a social media guy, you know, middle-aged, you know, trying to make a name for himself and doing whatever it takes in order to provide for his family, throwing caution to the wind and being comfortable in his own skin to kind of make a fool out of himself on camera, but again, doing whatever it takes for his kids. And that is so incredibly powerful and relatable to me because no, I don't have children, and no, I'm not, oh, that's my doggy yawning in the background. I know what it's like to be in your 40s and feel like you haven't achieved enough yet. So he's a seriously funny guy, and basically the movie was really captivating to me because it's truly hilarious and hysterical, and he's fueled by love, which I think is the essence of Jason Nash. I also love watching his little love story with Trisha Paytas because it's hysterical and it's thoroughly entertaining, and you know, it's not the love story of the century, and it's somewhat problematic at times, and then they do fight and they have disagreements. Trisha she's a young lady, she's like in her late 20s, I don't think she's 30 yet, or maybe she's in her very early 30s. But I remember myself at her age, and I was very jealous and I was very insecure, and I feel so sorry for the guys that I, you know, dated, if I displayed that level of jealousy, because I know I did. But it's kind of part of growing up, you know, you make mistakes like that, and I would cringe right now if I had all of that nonsense captured on video, because I'm sure it would be pretty similar to what Trisha does. And you know, she gets very jealous because she's not really comfortable 100% with herself and her appearance. As you know, body positive as she is, she's very and as beautiful as she is, she doesn't see it yet. She will, but she doesn't see it yet. And Jason, who has gone through divorce, now here, this is so relatable to me because I too am divorced, and he's starting over in his 40s. Although I've been divorced for a while, I feel like in a lot of ways I am starting over now, because I literally sold my house in Florida and went through hell, and I'm starting over again. So that's literally starting over. But as far as relationships are concerned, I'm so much more mature now, and I noticed it in my 40s. Like I made a pivotal switch from being that insecure, you know, jealous person in relationships to the mature one who wants to try to save money and who wants to be more responsible. And what's so relatable about Jason is that he's having fun. He's in a relationship that's fun. Trisha is a lot of fun to be around, you know, and he's enjoying it. And it gives me hope that an old lady like myself can find someone and have a fun and passionate relationship again. So good for you, Jason. I'm proud of you. And watching his vlogs brought me so much joy and made me belly laugh at a time when I cried myself to sleep every night. And I love life. I appreciate life so much. But while I was going through that hell of selling my home, there were some dark moments where I was like, well, maybe, you know, maybe this is the end of the road for me. And because of my sister, because of my friends, because of YouTube and Jason and Trisha and the Vlog Squad, I was able to ground myself and snap out of my funk and get things done and feel like a human being and laugh. And it saved me. It saved me, and it changed me, and it improved me, and it is such a powerful thing. Another thing I love about watching the two of them is that my mother passed away in 1999. Very suddenly. She had a heart attack, and it shocked the family, and it shocked a lot of people, because my mother was a very well-respected teacher in her community in New Jersey, and she had been for decades. And so it was a huge shock when she left us. And she had the kind of personality. She was very funny. She was very down to earth. She was very compassionate. She taught me what compassion is. And I miss her every day of my life. And watching Jason and Trisha include their mothers in their vlogs is the most touching aspect of watching their content because they love their mothers so much, and they shower them with gifts and with love. And every time I see, you know, Trisha and Jason feature their mothers in the videos, it makes me cry, you know, big tears, but in a good way, because I know that if my mother was, if she was still alive, we would have a similar closeness. And I just thank them for sharing that joy with the world. I know how powerful the platform of YouTube is, and how it, you know, can reach so many people, and which is why, you know, I want to have fun with this content, but I want it to be positive too. And a lot of that is because of Trisha and Jason, because yes, shock value and truth will get some views and will get some attention, and it's important, but so is humor and relatability and honesty. So watching their style of vlogging which is very reality and truth-based, appeals to me. And who knows? I mean, I don't know how they are off camera. I don't really know how they are toward each other. Trisha and Jason, I don't know how they are. I don't live with them. I don't know. But from what I see, especially during Christmas, Trisha did Vlogmas, where she vlogged herself every day. You know, I find it like it would be really hard to be in character for the camera most of the day, every day while you're filming. And if that's what she was doing, then wow, she deserves awards for that performance, because I think she's pretty genuine on camera, and I do respect that about her and Jason both. So I'm going to see the show today, and I'm very excited, and I'm excited to meet Jason. I know I'm going to freeze when I see him in this meet and greet. Hopefully I have the presence of mind to take a picture, maybe snap a selfie with Jason and Trish would be great, but we'll see what happens. Doing kind of a casual look because, you know, I don't want to be too sexy. You know, I don't want Trisha to think I'm trying to steal her man, but I just want to, you know, properly represent myself today in daylight and not look like too much, but still look sexy. Got a little mascara on my eye right there. I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna scrape it off. I learned that little trick from Jeffree Star. I do want to talk about this highlighter for a minute. This is from Wet n Wild, a loose highlighting powder, and it is vegan and cruelty free, and it's in shade 396A. I'm so lit, and I love it. Oh my gosh, I love this highlighter so much, and it's loose, so it's very kind of messy. So you don't want to sneeze on this highlighter. I'm just taking a little bit here, and I mean, it's kind of glittery and it's kind of sparkly. Oh, did you see that? But it's so pretty. Get around under the cheekbones. Go here, and I don't know if you can see how glazed donut that is, but it's pretty glossy. Alright guys, this is my completed look for today. It's very casual, but a little glam. And I'm going to try to have the presence of mind to take a video or at least a picture when I'm in line or when I actually meet Jason Nash and or Trisha or both. I don't know, we'll see. I'm really excited. Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening today. So I will see if I can take a little video of the performance, but I don't want to be disrespectful, so I don't know if I'll be able to include that in this video, but I'm very excited. All right guys, I'm gonna go, and I'll check back with you later. Okay, bye.
Very important, no video during the show.
You guys, I just met Jason Nash, and this is shaping up to be quite possibly one of the best days of my life. Waited in line very short time for the meet and greet, so I was kind of sat toward the front, so he has a lot of people to meet right now. Oh my gosh, so he's gonna be there for a while, but he is such a sweet guy, and he actually gave me a little advice for my channel too, and
I'm touched right now, guys, and I'm fighting the tears, and I don't want to be that cliche, you know, fan that just, you know, cries, but it's kind of tough not to. He is such a doll. I saw Trisha was at the show, David Dobrik, and the guys from the Vlog Squad, and this was an amazing experience. I'm so glad I came today. Now, where the heck did I park?